Thank you, Joachim. It's a true honor to join this meeting. I joined around 5:30 in the morning, half asleep, but thanks to the incredible topics and the speakers, I'm fully awake and energized. A spectrum of topics were discussed, but I want to pick on the theme of inequality, climate justice, but put it in the context of this meeting, a built environment. And many talked about this in this session which ended. Just to give you, summarize the statistics, 2/3 of the world's population live under $10 a day. And I like to think of it as in terms of three demographics: the top 1 billion, which John Schellenhuber mentioned, and then the bottom 3 billion. And then in the middle is 4 billion people. So the top 1 billion emit more than 50% of the climate pollution and consume more than 50% of the energy. Compare that with the bottom 3 billion, or 40% of the population. Their energy consumption is about 5%, and their climate emissions are also 5%. So this were all discussed this morning. What I want to add to that is climate change. Already the change we've experienced has acted as a force multiplier. And part of the reason is the poorest population, a majority of the bottom 3 billion, live in hot climates already. So warming from already a hotter climate has posed incredibly more impact, adverse impacts, than what the top 1 billion has faced. So just to give you one example, agriculture productivity globally decreased by 21%. But the bottom 3 billion, mainly living in rural areas, their agricultural yield has decreased more than 30 to 35%. So basically, climate change is a force multiplier of the other socio-political economic forces, which is forcing this bottom 3 billion into poverty. So I want to make a request to our chair, Professor John Schellenhuber. He's already sympathetic to this, and the rest of the group. We need to think about this built environment for these three populations separately. I talked about this globally, 1 billion, 4 billion, and 3 billion. But you can have similar partition for any country you choose under these three demographics. The main focus of the top 1 billion has to be on mitigation, and the focus on the built environment is a fantastic way to get started. On the other hand, the bottom 3 billion, our focus has to be on adaptation. Particularly, the warming is going to go from a degree to 1.5 in about 9 to 12 years from now. So there's very little time to build this adaptive capacity. Focus has to be is to giving them clean energy access. This 3 billion still depend on burning primitive fuels, wood, dung, and solid coal. So they're going to be facing flooding. They're already facing that. India just is coming out of a 3-month-long heat wave. Increase in agriculture yield for them is going to be critical. They're mostly, all of them are farmers, et cetera, et cetera. And the middle 4 billion is somewhere in between. They're largely living in urban areas, and we discussed them. So thank you, Joachim. I'd like to pass the mantle to our federal minister, Clara Gravitz, to give the last presentation of the day.